Love is the way of God in light, and light is the way of God in love. For God works in every way that is unknown to man, because man did not walk in the faith of God, and man could not know God. For no man found the way to the divine, and except man found the way of the divine, he could not have found a way to know who God is, nor to find a way to the truth about God. And so man remained in the dark of all things, for he had no knowledge of the way God exists, nor how it is the world exists as God. In bringing all things to an end, we have said unto you that the enlightened ones are the ones that are given to discover the truth. For we promised those who walked in the faith of God and follow the precepts of your God, that your God would make known the truth to them. For in all the things that man did, man showed God that he kept not the precepts of God, but he followed the laws of men. And wherever man followed the laws of men, he forsook the ways of your father and mother God. The children on earth suffered because the children disobeyed the precepts of God. They followed the ways of men. And in every part of the earth, the children did not know that in all the ways they came from the sun to earth, they came with a higher vibration that carried a higher frequency. It is these higher vibrations and frequencies that enable them to connect to the universal intelligence that informed them about the things they needed to know and the things they would do. And the children were waxed strong in this faith, and it enabled them to do the marvelous things they did on earth because they were connected to a higher vibrational field of frequencies. God knew that the children did not understand who they were or how it is that they are the way they are. For they lost the knowledge of God and they lost the true knowledge of themselves. And when the children of your God did not find a way to know who they are, they could not find a way to know how they were great. And so they wandered this world as a lost sheep because they have no memory of what it is that made them great and enabled them to conquer everything that was on earth. These things we give you to share with them because the children of God lost their connectedness with the higher vibrational frequencies that carry the universal intelligence that is God. The children must know that wherever they dwelled in their own lands, the vibration and frequencies of the land was also given to work in harmony with their own vibrations and frequencies. And so they did not know that wherever they went on earth, their vibrations were given to work in the higher frequencies. So even when they dwelled among the tribes of earth whose vibrational fields are very, 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 very limited, the earth knew that the children that superintended it before had been given a higher rate of vibrations and frequencies. And so the earth respected the children for what they had. And the children were also strong in knowledge and understanding. The children made the mistake of allowing those of lower vibrational frequencies to come in among them and to dwell among them. And when they saw what they did and started to follow them, the children of God caused the vibrational frequencies in their own lands and in themselves to become erratic. And it is these erratic vibrations in the children of God that brought about the dis-ease in the children of God and the disorder that occurred in their mindset and in the ways they behaved. The children had no understanding as to how it is that they found themselves strangers in their own lands. Now, how it is that they allowed themselves to be taken into captivity and bondage. These things they had not known, for when they did not keep faith with that which was given to them and followed the wayward ways of a lesser people, the children were disconnected from the divine source of their powers, and they were no longer able to overcome the things that were given to them, as they also recognize that is happening to them today. We have told them that in all the ways that they must turn away from these ways, they must await the return of the divine forces that would initiate the higher vibrational fields of frequencies within them, so that when they would have received that, they would then know the way to overcome the evils that were visited upon them. These things are not known to our children, because the children of your God are stubborn. For in every way we told them to turn away from these ways, turn away from these ways, turn away from these ways. The children persisted in doing exactly what we had told them not to do. And because of this disobedience, the children have found themselves always crying out to unknown gods and unknown saviors and listening to false prophets that could not show them the way to the divine. For the children of God did not know that as celestial beings, they had the divine of the creator gods within them. And it is this divine that enabled them to maintain their connectedness with the superior intelligence of the universe, that informed, instruct, and advised them as to the way that they must go. Whenever the children of God were given to lead any of their own people, they had to be blessed in the anointing of greatness. And the rituals that we have shown to you were the rituals that were used so that they who would lead, that have been anointed, but receive the divine forces to follow them. And among the divine forces that followed them were those that were chosen of the ancestors that were divine, that were gods. And that is why the children went saying, in many of their lands, we call on these gods and we call on those gods. They were gods, but they could not call on them because they had not received the anointing to be able to establish contact with these gods that would have shown them the way to conquer evil in their own lands. And these things we say to you, that in every way that you had said to the many, unless you have been anointed into office, you will never be able to lead your people in the path of victory. And in every part of the world where the children chose their leaders, they chose those who were like blind Bucks and blind David. They didn't see, they couldn't see, and they can't lead when you are blind. And everywhere the leaders are, so are they who they lead. For when you follow your leaders, you are following them because you believe that where they are taking you is where you want to go. And in all the lands of the children of God, we have shown them, these are not your chosen leaders. They cannot lead you. And every way that they are blind, so too are you blind. For the children of your God must wake up, and they must come to understand the sacred precepts that were given to them that enable them to be gods and goddesses and kings and queens and rulers, because they carried within them that which was the higher vibrations that always attracted the higher forces. And these higher forces included their ancestors who were gods when they walked here on earth. There are many things that our children do not know that you must teach them, because they went in this world believing in the same way as those who work in the lower vibrational fields are. They do not know the way to power because they do not know what power is. And in every way they follow the brute reasoning of brutes on earth. They have become like animals, just like them. For their God did not give anybody to destroy anything in the way in which it is destroyed in order to be able to gain power. Nor did your God give the children of God to accumulate the material things of this world as riches. For the children of God did not know that these were lesser things than themselves. And when you are able to command whatever you want, you don't need to accumulate anything. You do not need any money. You do not need to barter, buy, or sell anything, because nothing was given to this world that carried a price on it. And that is what the children knew, and that is what they forgot. When God left the children to live in peace and harmony with each other, God gave them the way to learn how to give, and to give. For in giving, they demonstrated the sacred and divine principle of God, that all things that are free from God are free from them to man. The children did not understand these things, and they persist in following the evil ways of an evil world. For in all the ways God told everybody, you brought nothing in this world, you own nothing in this world, and you can take nothing from this world. The children still did not understand what God is showing them. Don't follow these ways. These are not the ways of your God to you. For every way that you walked in this world, you found everything that was free to you. The air is free to you. The waters is free to you. The earth is free to you. Every vegetation that is produced from the earth is free to you. You didn't buy it. It gives itself free to you. And when you subscribe to the ways of a lesser people, you also subscribe to the dreadful and most disgusting and despicable ways of a lesser people before God. You violated everything that was sacred unto God. And then you wonder why it is that you are crying out day and night, what have we done, oh Father God? Why are they doing this to us, oh Father God? It is not what they are doing to you. It is what you have done to yourselves. Because you have always looked outside of yourself and never within yourself. and you didn't reason within yourself, why are you the way that you are? Is there a way that you can be better than how you are? For wherever you looked, you followed the ways of a wayward world. You did everything that you were never given to do, and you walked in ways that you were never given to walk in. And every one of you went the same way, because you did not recognize that your divinity is always the way on which your mortality rests. So your mortality rests on your divinity. If the divine source of your existence is known and followed, your mortality will go into immortality. And that is the sacred secret of God that was not known to any of you, because you persisted in engaging in behaviors that continue to suppress the forces and dynamics of powers within you that would have enabled you to come up higher. You cannot climb a mountain when you are carrying a load of heavy weights upon your back, for you will not reach far. You will not reach far. And every way that God told you to lay aside these burdens, God wanted you to recognize that all these things that you are doing that have worked against the divine and sacred order of your Father and Mother God are the burdens that you bear. No man can do you anything except that which is given to be done is accepted by you. And when you would have learned the ways of your divine, anything that man would want to do to you that is not of you will never reach you, for it will return back to its sender. God shows you that. Whenever a mail arrives at anyone's house that is not for them, they send it back to sender. And the children were taught in all the ways that they spoke, back to sender. When anybody tells you something that you had found to be either satanic or evil, you say back to sender. And that was the way God wanted you to know, that whenever your divine nature was of this sublime, nothing but this sublime will come to you. So you have to understand, no man can do you anything. It is what you allow to be done to yourselves. For you went about saying the white man did this, the Chinese man did this, but God, no, you did it to yourself. And that is why God told you to know yourself. To know yourself. When you want to know anything, you study it. And you study it diligently. If you need to know yourself, you need to take time to study yourself and to study yourself diligently. Shalima Harakaro Sipiri Asaro Orabakandisi. God says unto your son, teach them to know themselves. For in all the ways that we send you to speak and teach and preach, we show them the way that they must return to the discovery of themselves and the greatness that is within them. For all of our children have been in darkness in a world that is also full of darkness. And because they cannot see how the darkness is visible before them, they cannot see how it is that they are lost in it. And so we give you that in all the many ways you are given to preach and to teach, so will the gospel of truth be known to them. They will be renewed in the greatness that is of them, and they shall walk again as gods and goddesses, as man on earth.